Have you ever wondered whether one of the beautiful plants in your backyard could actually be dangerous? Most gardeners assume that plants sold at garden centers or commonly grown around homes must be safe, but that's not always true. Some attractive ornamentals contain powerful toxins and can cause serious poisoning if swallowed. They may have beautiful flowers, colorful berries, elegant foliage, or sweet fragrances that make them seem completely harmless. The real danger is often not knowing what you're growing. In today's video, we're revealing 7 highly toxic plants that could be growing surprisingly close to your home. Some are popular garden favorites, while others may appear naturally without being planted. So before you buy an unfamiliar plant or let children and pets explore your garden freely, make sure you know exactly what's growing in your backyard. 1. Autumn crocus. Autumn crocus may be the most surprising plant on this list because its flowers can arrive just when many other parts of the garden are beginning to fade. The delicate blooms seem almost magical when they appear in late summer or autumn, often emerging from bare-looking ground with little warning. Gardeners love them because they provide color at a time when the landscape is transitioning toward winter. But autumn crocus contains colchicine, a powerful toxic compound, and every part of the plant should be treated as poisonous. The bulbs and underground structures are especially concerning because someone unfamiliar with the plant could mistake them for an edible bulb. The common name can also create confusion because autumn crocus isn't a true crocus. It belongs to a completely different plant group, and its chemical composition is very different from that of true crocuses. This is an excellent reason to use scientific names when researching unusual plants, rather than relying only on common names. Poisoning can cause severe gastrointestinal symptoms and potentially serious complications, and there is no reason for a gardener to experiment with any part of the plant. Never make homemade remedies from autumn crocus. Never taste the flowers, and don't store its bulbs together with edible bulbs such as onions or garlic. When planting or dividing it, wear gloves and wash your hands afterward. Keep children from digging up the bulbs and don't allow pets to chew the foliage or flowers. Another interesting feature of autumn crocus is that the foliage and flowers don't always appear at the same time in the way gardeners expect from many spring bulbs. That unusual growth cycle can make identification even more confusing. If you buy bulbs from a garden center, keep the original label until you are completely familiar with the plant. Labels are especially useful for plants with confusing common names. If autumn crocus is already established in your garden, you don't necessarily need to remove it simply because it's toxic. Instead, treat it as a plant that requires responsible placement and careful handling. The goal isn't to eliminate every toxic plant from the world. That's impossible. The goal is to understand the plants around you and prevent accidental exposure. Autumn crocus is beautiful, unusual, and valuable for late-season color, but it should never be mistaken for an edible garden plant. 2. Yew. Yew may be the plant on this list that most gardeners overlook because it doesn't look unusual at all. In fact, yews are among the most familiar evergreen shrubs used in landscaping. They're planted as hedges, foundation shrubs, borders, screens, and formal garden features because they tolerate pruning and can remain dense and attractive for many years. But several yew species contain toxin compounds that can seriously interfere with the heart. The needles and seeds are particularly important concerns, and the bright red fleshy structures surrounding the seeds can make the plant even more deceptive. Those red structures may look like berries to someone who doesn't recognize the plant, which could encourage a child to pick or taste them. The seed itself is especially dangerous if chewed or swallowed, and gardeners should never experiment with any part of the plant. Yew foliage can also be toxic, so pets should not be allowed to chew on branches or fallen material. Because yews are so common, people sometimes forget that they are ornamental plants rather than food plants. Never use yew branches in cooking, don't place clippings near animals that might eat them, and don't burn yew trimmings. When pruning a large hedge, use gloves and take reasonable precautions to avoid unnecessary contact. Another important consideration is cleanup. Yew clippings can accumulate quickly after a major trimming, and they should be disposed of appropriately rather than being left where livestock, pets, or children can investigate them. If you have an established yew hedge, there is no need to panic, simply because you discover its toxic nature. Millions of gardens contain yews without incident because people understand how to manage them. The key is awareness. Teach children not to eat unfamiliar berries. And make sure everyone in the household recognizes the difference between ornamental plants and edible fruit. If you are planning a new landscape, think about whether a yew is appropriate for your property, especially if animals or young children have unrestricted access to the planting area. Yew proves that one of the most dangerous plants in a landscape doesn't necessarily have to look exotic, strange, or intimidating. Sometimes the plant you walk past every morning, without a second thought, deserves the most attention. 3. Monkshood. Monkshood, also known as aconite or wolfsbane, has an appearance that almost seems too unusual to be real. Its flowers can form tall spikes of deep blue, purple, or violet blossoms with distinctive hood-like shapes. In a shaded or cool garden, monkshood can provide a dramatic vertical accent that few other perennials can match. But this beautiful plant contains aconitine and related alkaloids, which can affect the nervous system, muscles, and heart. Every part of monkshood should be treated as toxic, and careless handling is not appropriate. Gardeners should use gloves when working with the plant and avoid touching their face while handling it. The plant should never be used to make homemade teas, tinctures, extracts, or other preparations. Historical references to aconite as a medicinal substance or poison may make the plant seem fascinating, but they should never encourage experimentation. The amount of a toxic compound in a plant isn't something a gardener can safely estimate by looking at it, and extracting plant chemicals can dramatically change exposure. Poisoning can produce symptoms such as tingling or numbness, weakness, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and abnormal heart rhythms. Serious exposure can become a medical emergency. Another reason monkshood deserves attention is that it can remain in a garden for many years, becoming part of the landscape that everyone eventually stops noticing. The plant may be perfectly healthy and attractive, but familiarity should never lead to carelessness. If you have children visiting your property, make sure they understand that this is not a flower to pick, taste, or play with. The same applies to pets that chew vegetation. When dividing established monkshood, take extra care because digging and handling can bring you into much closer contact with the roots and plant material. If you're unsure whether a plant in your garden is monkshood, don't rely on a casual comparison with a photograph. Get an accurate identification before handling or removing it. This is particularly important because ornamental plants can have multiple common names, and different species may look similar while having very different properties. Monkshood can be an extraordinary garden flower, but it belongs in the category of plants that should be admired with knowledge and handled with respect. 4. Oleander. Oleander is one of the most deceptive plants a gardener can grow because almost everything about it looks inviting. It can become a beautiful evergreen shrub covered in clusters of pink, white, red, or peach flowers. And in warm climates, it can bloom for an incredibly long period. Its narrow leaves give it an elegant appearance, while its ability to tolerate heat and relatively dry conditions makes it especially popular in landscapes where other flowering shrubs may struggle. You can find oleander planted along fences, driveways, patios, roadsides, and property boundaries. And because it is so common in certain regions, people sometimes stop thinking of it as a plant that requires special caution. But oleander contains cardiac glycosides, powerful compounds that can interfere with normal heart function when enough plant material is swallowed. These compounds occur throughout the plant, so it is a mistake to assume that only the flowers or leaves are toxic. Even discarded branches and leaves should be handled responsibly. Symptoms following ingestion can include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, weakness, dizziness, and abnormal heart rhythms, and serious exposure can become life-threatening. One reason accidental exposure is possible is that oleander leaves don't look particularly threatening. A curious child or pet may investigate them without realizing what they're dealing with. Gardeners should never use oleander branches as cooking sticks, skewers, or anything that could come into contact with food. And plant material should never be burned because smoke and ash can present additional hazards. If you're pruning oleander, wearing gloves and washing your hands afterward is a sensible precaution, particularly if you are handling a large amount of plant material. You also want to keep children and pets from chewing on leaves, flowers, or fallen branches. Another important point is that you shouldn't assume a plant becomes harmless because it has been dried. Toxic compounds can remain in plant material after it has been removed from the living plant. Oleander can be a spectacular landscape shrub when grown responsibly, but its beauty should never be confused with safety. If you already have one in your yard, The most important thing is identification, awareness, and preventing accidental ingestion. And if you're considering planting one, think carefully about where it will be located and whether your household has children or animals that could easily reach it. 5. Castor bean. Castor bean is another plant that can transform an ordinary garden into something that looks almost tropical. Its enormous, deeply divided leaves can create dramatic texture, and under favorable conditions, it can grow surprisingly fast. The plant's unusual seed capsules add even more visual interest, which is one reason gardeners sometimes use castor bean as a statement plant. But those attractive seeds are also the reason this plant deserves serious caution. Castor bean seeds contain ricin, an extremely potent toxin, and they should never be treated as harmless decorative objects or something that can be experimented with. The risk is particularly important when seeds are chewed or swallowed. A child might find the unusual seed pods fascinating, while an unsuspecting gardener may collect the seeds without understanding what they contain. The plant can also produce numerous seeds, meaning that if conditions are right, castor bean can appear in places where you didn't intentionally plant it. If you grow it as an ornamental, prevent children and pets from accessing mature seeds, and don't use the seeds for crafts, games, jewelry, or decorations, where they might later be handled or swallowed. Never crush, grind, or experiment with castor bean seeds. If you need to remove unwanted plants or seed clusters, use appropriate protective precautions and follow local guidance for disposal. Another reason castor bean can become problematic is that people often judge a plant by its appearance. Large leaves and rapid growth make it look impressive, but neither tells you anything about toxicity. There are many safer plants that can provide a tropical appearance, including large-leaved ornamentals that don't carry the same concern. If you have young children who explore the garden by touching and tasting unfamiliar objects, choosing an alternative may be the smartest option. Gardening isn't just about finding the most dramatic plant available. It's also about choosing plants that fit your household, your environment, and the level of supervision you can realistically provide. Castor bean can certainly make a visual statement, but the gardener needs to understand exactly what kind of plant they're bringing into the landscape. 6. Foxglove. Foxglove is one of the best examples of how a plant can be both breathtakingly beautiful and highly toxic. Its tall flower spikes rise above the garden, covered with rows of elegant, bell-shaped blossoms in shades of purple, pink, white, and sometimes soft yellow. In cottage gardens, woodland borders, and partially shaded landscapes, foxglove creates an unforgettable display and can attract bees and other pollinators. But behind those beautiful flowers is a powerful group of compounds called cardiac glycosides, including digitalis-like substances that can seriously affect the heart if the plant is swallowed. The entire plant should be considered toxic, including the leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds. What makes foxglove particularly dangerous is how harmless it looks. A child may see the colorful flowers and assume they are safe to touch or taste, while an inexperienced gardener may forget about the plant's toxicity after seeing it grow normally for several years. If enough plant material is swallowed, symptoms can include nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, weakness, dizziness, confusion, and abnormal heart rhythms, and serious poisoning can become life-threatening. This is also why foxglove should never be used for homemade teas, herbal remedies, or DIY medicinal preparations. Although compounds derived from foxglove have played an important role in modern medicine, that does not mean the raw plant is safe to consume. Medical preparations are carefully measured and controlled, while the concentration of natural compounds in a garden plant can vary significantly. If you grow foxglove, choose its location carefully. Keep it away from children's play areas and places where pets regularly roam, and teach young children never to pick or taste unfamiliar plants. When removing or handling large amounts of foxglove, wearing gloves is a sensible precaution, followed by washing your hands thoroughly. Don't leave discarded plant material where children or animals could investigate it. Another reason to pay attention is that foxglove can produce seeds and sometimes appear in unexpected areas of the garden. Learn to recognize the young plants as well as the mature flowering stems, because a small seedling can still be toxic even before it develops its famous flowers. Foxglove teaches an important gardening lesson. Beauty doesn't tell you whether a plant is safe. A flower can be excellent for pollinators, spectacular in the landscape, and still require careful handling. If you know what you're growing and take a few simple precautions, you can appreciate foxglove for its beauty without treating it like an ordinary edible garden plant. 7. Poison hemlock. Poison hemlock is particularly concerning because, unlike many plants on this list, it often isn't something gardeners intentionally purchase. Instead, it can quietly appear along fence lines, roadsides, drainage areas, fields, vacant spaces, and disturbed soil. Once established, it can grow surprisingly tall and produce attractive clusters of small white flowers that look similar to several harmless plants in the carrot family. That resemblance is one of the biggest dangers. Someone who isn't familiar with poison hemlock may mistake it for an edible wild plant, especially when the plant is young or hasn't developed all of its identifying characteristics. Poison hemlock contains toxic alkaloids that can interfere with the nervous system and muscles, and serious exposure can cause weakness, loss of coordination, breathing problems, paralysis, and potentially life-threatening complications. This is why you should never taste an unidentified wild plant, even if it looks almost identical to something you recognize. A single mistaken identification can have serious consequences. This is especially important for gardeners who enjoy foraging for wild greens, herbs, or edible plants. Don't rely on a quick photograph, a social media post, or a vague resemblance. Positive identification is essential. If poison hemlock appears on your property, identify it before attempting removal. If you're certain of the identification and decide to remove it, use appropriate protective clothing and gloves. Avoid touching your face while working, and wash your hands and tools afterward. Never burn the plant material, and keep children and pets away from the area while you're working. It's also important to remember that young poison hemlock may look very different from a mature flowering plant. Learning its appearance at different stages makes it much easier to recognize before it becomes large and produces seeds. And because several harmless plants also produce umbrella-shaped white flower clusters, don't remove a plant based on one characteristic alone. If you're uncertain, contact a local extension service, botanist, or qualified plant identification expert before handling it. Poison hemlock is a perfect reminder that some of the most dangerous plants in your yard aren't the ones you bought. They're the ones that appeared quietly when you weren't looking. And that's why knowing what grows naturally around your property can be just as important as knowing what you planted yourself.